to say, don't get stuck within a 9 to 5 that represses your purpose, that represses your identity.
You can't be safe and be significant at the same time. You have to pick one.
Just sticking up a mentorship relationship for photo ops. Oh, like with my mentor, and then I posted somebody. But are you observing? Are you studying? Are you keenly observing this person's life journey, this person's pattern, behavioral change, the unique dealings of God in this mentor's life, the transformational journey, the evolutionary journey of their growth and their becoming? What lessons, what connecting lines are you drawing? This is you should steward that dynamic duo of the mentor-mentee relationship.
Thank you for tuning in. This is part 2 of this full episode. So if you haven't seen part 1, make sure you watch part 1 to get the full context of what we are discussing.
Here is to the bold visionaries, kingdom-minded disruptors at the forefront of God's end-time agenda. While some may call them crazy, we see a call to dominion mandate. God has empowered us to take territories, solving the world's greatest problems under the power of His glory. This is the Mountains of Influence podcast. Welcome.
And I think that's one thing that all of us would have to face at one point or the other in our lives. Are you going to jump? And when you jump, are you afraid of whether God will catch you or not?
Wow.
And when you find yourself between the devil and the deep blue sea, are you going to swim? Which one are you going to swim towards? It's just that huge fear of the unknown, like you said. The struggle between the new and the next. But there is always that pressing at the neck.
Yeah.
There is the new, there is the next, but there is a neck in between. And you just have to know whether you want to press that neck or you just want to maintain status quo.
Yeah.
And that was just so beautiful. And, it just takes audacity.
Yes.
So audacity to leave comfort, to leave the known, to leave something that is secure.
Yeah.
And, like something that DDK always say, you can't be safe and be significant at the same time. You have to pick one.
Yeah.
You have to pick one.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure you sometimes look back and imagine, what if you didn't take that bold step?
Oh
What
my
if
God.
you couldn't hear from God?
Let just hold the thought there. I still did this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where
Wow.
I looked back on my life and I said, it's exactly 2024 marked exactly 7 years, right? When I took that bold step. And I am to quantify my growth, my evolution in the last 7 years, Lady Adibola. If I was still within that organization, I would not have attained 1% at all.
Wow. Just so this is a word for somebody that is in a 9 to 5 right now. And that word has been coming to you for the last 2 years. And you are just like saying, what will happen to me? And I think this is just a confirmation for you to go drop that resignation letter. This is just a confirmation for you right now, whoever you are that you're listening to this. Yes, you can give yourself 3 months to say, okay, I need to prepare for, just the way, when you said 7 years, I remember the story of Joseph, how there was the 7 years of plenty. And then there was another 7 years that plenty was supposed to have provided for the draft. So wisdom is profitable to the rest. Whoever that is listening to this and you need to pivot to become a change maker.
Yes.
This is the purpose of this kind of conversation, of this podcast.
Yes.
To give you permission to take that bold step, because you are standing between that threshold of the new and the next. But there is a neck.
Yes.
And you must come out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's either you jump or you don't. But like she said, our evolution compared in the last 7 years, there is no way she would have been able to achieve that being stuck in a 9 to 5. Because that system is not built for you to become the full butterfly that God has designed it to be. The best you could probably even, remain to be is, the cocoon, the pupa, the larva. But, to fully metamorphose, for your beautiful wings to fully develop and to mature, that kind of environment is not fully built for you to happen. And I just, God, I just felt that somebody needed to hear that more clearly. That was the word for you.
Yes.
Wow.
Lady, I mean, but
wow.
Balance that a bit. Can you allow me balance it a bit?
Yes.
Because though I left the 9 to 5 within the insurance industry, I eventually stepped into ideation of and was still operating a 9 to 5, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it was a flexible arrangement, right? That
Yeah.
still gave me the opportunity to bloom, to blossom, right?
Exactly.
We live in a new world order where a lot of organizations now provide flexible work arrangements. We have
Exactly.
people probably working on 2 or 3 jobs at the same time, and nobody would really have an issue with it once there is no conflict of interest. So I believe that
Exactly.
what Lady Abimbola was saying, right? I'm just writing, trying to corroborate what she earlier shared,
Mm-hmm.
is to say, don't get stuck within a 9 to 5 that represses your
Good.
your purpose, that
Exactly.
represses your identity. There can be another 9 to 5 that you can get into that becomes that
Mhm.
catalyst for your
Exactly.
that as you and that was what Ideation of Africa did for me. Ideation
Exactly.
of Africa served as the catalyst, right? Catalyzing me to
Mm-hmm.
the next level. Do you
Mm.
understand it? So you must
Exactly.
whether it's a flexible work arrangement, whatever that looks like, you must not get stuck within the rot of a system that represses your purpose and your identity, or represses you from moving into the next level of vision and purpose. And that's what
Mm.
Lady Amipola was saying. So some people are
Exactly.
in 9 to 5s that are repressing
Bless you.
their
Exactly.
purpose at the moment. And it may mean that you don't wait for a flexible work arrangement, but it simply means just as I took that bold step that time, you have to tender that resignation letter to step into either a flexible work arrangement, but step into the next of vision.
Amazing. And what you just said, God just brought back a memory of a lesson that he taught me when I was a single lady. Somebody might benefit from this, but it just struck me now. It was a case of, look, if a throne is not empty, you cannot put another king there.
So good.
If the throne, do you understand? Like, so it was a case of, look, Abimbola, yeah, there are many guys flocking around you, interested in you and all of that. But if none of them, don't let anybody occupy the space that has been reserved for the right person.
Hmm.
Everybody can be dancing around you, but know in your Noah that none of them is sitting on that throne. You just have to be sure that that throne is not occupied, because as long as it is occupied, the right person cannot fill it.
Hmm.
And even in normal world, arrangement, for a new president to come, the seat has to be vacant.
To be vacant.
For a new king to
So good.
become a king, the throne has to be vacant.
Has to be vacant.
So, when you just said that, sometimes you are holding on to it. Oh my God, God is just bringing back so many lessons that He has taught me over the years.
So good.
There is this picture of Jesus holding a very big teddy bear behind him.
Yes.
And this little girl is holding a small teddy bear. And Jesus is saying, give it to me. But she doesn't know what he has behind him.
Yeah.
Say, if only you just trust me, give me the tiny teddy bear, and then I will give you the big one.
Big one. So good.
So as long as your hands are filled with the 9 to 5 that is repressive, God cannot give you the new.
Yes.
You have to let it go.
Yes.
So yes, what you are holding on to, is serving you right now, but God is saying, I have something better for you. I have something bigger for you. I have bigger shoes for you to fill. I have bigger platforms for you to go to.
So good.
But you need to let it go.
So
You
good.
need to let go of that security, that thing that makes you feel secure,
Oh.
and just step into the new. Just like the TBR said. That was just a whole lot to unpack, and I hope that it gives somebody insight. Oh God, Holy Spirit, help me. For someone that is listening right now, you are in a relationship and it's not headed anywhere.
Hmm.
That seat needs to be empty.
Hmm.
You need to vacate it. It's not a case of you fight with somebody or whatever, you understand? But it needs to be vacant for God to fill it up. We are talking about career, but this dovetails into everything. If you want something new, you cannot pour old wine into new wineskin.
Oh,
I cannot pour new wine into old wineskin. You see, the Bible is complete. The Bible is complete. So then you just have to make that mental shift. You wanted
yeah.
to say something.
No, 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 no. I'm good. I'm good.
Oh God. Like
Yeah.
everything you just said, just bringing back so many, lessons, so many nuggets, that God has taught me over the years that has really, really helped me to make some critical decisions. Just being able to understand those the picture that God is painting, the story that God is telling, and
Tell it.
just being falling into alignment. Wow.
Uh,
You mentioned something about mentorship. You mentioned DDK, and I'm just wondering, what was your first encounter of DDK, and why did you feel she was the person to go to give you the permission to jump?
mm,
Because
uh,
you could have gone to somebody else that would tell you not to jump,
mm,
but something in you must have told you that she will give you permission to jump.
yeah. So, of course, she was at that time my mentor, and of course, she's still my mentor. And I just thought it expedient that I was making a very important life decision that would require either the intervention or the wise advice, wise input of a father figure, right? Someone who
Mm,
has gone ahead of me, who can definitely guide, on what steps to take or how to approach that decision. And that's why, in our life's journey, in as much as when you hear people's stories
mm,
and we draw lessons, connecting dots, connecting
mm,
lines, right? Or even confirmations from those stories. We
mm,
must also understand that our dealings would also be uniquely different. So
mhm,
someone's story and there is that alignment. But by the time God is walking me through that journey, just because I heard that story, what God has
mm,
given me is perspective for my own unique dealings.
mm,
Study.
mm,
So it may not mean that what that person went through would happen verbatim exactly in your own case. But
mhm,
based on the lessons and the God strategy that has been given that person or that what that person is sharing, God begins to show you your own unique answers and pattern
mm,
in that God strategy. Do you
mm,
understand it?
mm,
And that's why I went to her because I knew that she also had also experienced a similar evolution of such. She had worked
mm,
with Phillips Consulting, as one of their critical partners, and she had to transition right into starting her own business, coaching business, starting out, Ideation of Africa as Africa's leading public policy and impact advisory firm. All of these things, she had to step out to move into the next level of vision. So she had gone
mm,
through that part. So she didn't exactly tell me any answer in terms of this is what you should do. But she only provided guidance as a mentor to say, okay, you hear God. So whatever God is saying you should do, okay, take action on it. Don't be slow. You understand? Go for it.
mm.
Do you understand?
Don't be slow.
Go
I
for it.
love that.
So that's what happens.
Mm,
But a lot of people sometimes when they are trying to work out the dynamics of the mentor-mentee relationship, some people are looking for mentors that will spoon feed them. Some people are looking for
exactly.
mentors that we will say, daughter, this is what you should do. Looking for that mentor that you think will be so accessible, can read your life history and read what next is
And read your mind.
your mind. Of course, there'll be dimension of where the prophetic word will come, and I've experienced this countlessly with DDK. With every next level, there is always
Mm,
a new word, a now word in season. But it's also now
mm,
your own responsibility to take that word, right? To wage
mm,
war, wield that word, wage war with it. Now contextualize it. Begin to sit with the Holy Spirit to say, what is the context of this word in my now? What is this saying? Right? And begin to access that which God has already made available for you. Do you understand? So people understand the mentor-mentee dynamics and relationship, you would steward better, right? That's why people not only just, will not be seeking out opportunity and say, I'm someone is my mentor. You are just seeking out a mentorship relationship for photo ops. Oh, that with my mentor, and then I posted somewhere. But are you observing? Are you studying? Are you closely, keenly observing this person's life journey, this person's pattern, behavioral change, the unique dealings of God in this mentor's life, the transformational journey of this your mentor, the evolutionary journey, right, of their growth and their becoming? What lesson, what connecting lines are you drawing? This is how you should steward that dynamic duo of the mentor-mentee relationship, and that's what I did. Literally.
Amazing. One part that I'm very, very, very interested in is your first encounter with her.
Okay.
Like, how did you meet? Like,
Yeah.
how did you know? Because somebody is saying like, okay, I need to find my own DDK. Like, I need to go and look for DDK. But that first encounter there's just always something special about it.
I love
that you cannot forget.
So it started with I thank God for friendships, for covenant friendships, for covenant sisterhoods. I had a friend, her name she's still my friend, Omotala. She knew DDK as far back as 2015, because it was exactly 10 years ago. It was
10 years, wow.
Yeah, since I came to know and encounter the person, right, of DDK. And right, it started with Omotola, right? She was my friend, and maybe we were in a conversation, and she just said, have you heard of DDK? Have you met her before? I was like, no. Oh, at that time, DDK was the president of Deborah Initiative for Women, now known as Kingdom Leaders Global Alliance.
Oh, wow.
She's the president of Deborah Initiative for Women, right? And she's a very powerful woman of God. She just gave me, all that background information about her. And that really sort of, stirred up my curiosity. I want to know more about her. At that time, that was when BlackBerry was still very much in use, and it was quite very popular for you to receive, what do we call that thing? BBM messages, by BBM Messenger and all of that. So I also received a BBM message from one of the then directors of DIW. She's now an elder. That's Elder Boom. And she posted that message like, oh, there was an upcoming Deborah Initiative for Women event, and all of that. And I was just like, okay, I will definitely attend. Then somehow, Omotola then came to tell me that, oh, DDK was going to be speaking at one of maybe our friends or acquaintances event in Festac. And me, I was just like, okay, definitely, I have to be there. I'm definitely going to Festac, to just encounter her. So I went all the way. At that time, Festac, you can imagine, went all the way to Festac, and it was not just Festac. Like, what am I able to say? One in not Festac, that Festac or Amuwodofi. One in suburban, rural part of Festac or Amuwodofi, like inside.
Wow, inside.
I'm telling you, I went there, was seated right behind her, and when she was done ministering, I think she turned back and she just saw me, and she was like, the call of God upon your life is so strong, right? She was just like, the calling of God upon your life is so strong. And I walked up to her and she held my hands, and we prayed. And she just kept confirming some steerings that I began to have, within me at that time. And that's when I just knew that, okay, this is the woman I must follow. Like, no,
Oh, wow.
I am getting stuck in it. And that was it. It was that
Wow. Amazing. What a midwife.
Deborah Initiative for Women came into there and got in, poured myself into the work, served, and they'll say the rest, they say, is
Is it fair?
history.
Oh my God. That's so beautiful. Wow. Because that background story tells us the work that God had been doing in your heart for 3 years
Yeah,
before that nudging came to say it is time to leave this place.
yeah.
It's not something that just happened overnight.
Overnight.
God was doing a work, and when it was time,
Yeah,
you began to feel the pull that you need to come out from amongst them.
yeah.
You need to come out from amongst them, and that is just so 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 profound. Wow. So while we're still talking about encounters, I'm just wondering, what is your most profound Jesus experience on your mountain of influence? What is that story? That's riveting, that's amazing, heart-striking, epic story that that for real, for sure, this could only have been pulled off because I have Jesus in my corner.
Mm. Lady Abibola, there have been many encounters. Where do I,
I can imagine.
you know, where do I begin to recount? Um,
Hmm.
but I will start with the phrase that says, God or the Lord Jesus Christ has been the Lord of my journey.
Hmm.
It's amazing to mention that I'm a twin. I don't know if you ever know that I'm a twin.
No.
So I'm a twin. I lost my twin sister 2008.
Oh, wow.
And yeah,
So sorry.
when we just graduated freshly out of school, we're
Wow.
young, and were deployed to different states um, in Nigeria for our National Youth Service. But
Wow.
on our way to our own state of deployment, she had an accident and
Oh,
she
my
went to the
God.
Lord.
Oh, so sorry.
Thank you. We are identical. We literally dress alike, look very identical. The only difference was the fact that our course of study was accounting, while my own course of study was mass communication.
Wow.
However, initially, I wanted to study accounting just like her. But
Wow.
for one reason or the other, I think I either got a pass in mathematics, so I didn't reach the cutoff mark for accounting.
Wow.
That moved me
Wow.
to mass communication. But I think it fitted me better because I'm very outspoken, I'm
Yeah.
the communicator. So God just knew, God used that. That's why I said God has been the God of my journey. You know, God used that to route me right on the path of destiny. As
Wow.
and from the experience of losing my twin sister, right? It was really a painful experience. That
Mhm.
to that journey, losing her, step into the world of work, that evolution and how God has carried me. And with every next level of my calling, I have seen God, being that God of my journey.
Mm.
I have
Mm.
seen the connecting lines, even when sometimes the connecting lines were there, but they appeared very blurry,
Very.
not clear. It wasn't like it was clear from the beginning. Most times I don't really even know what is next. But once there was that nudge, once there was that steering, and because I was also firmly planted within a community, thank God for Kingdom Leaders Global Alliance, back then known as the Deborah Initiative for Women. Thank God for a community, kingdom community of like-minded covenant sisters, covenant relationships. I would say that was where my forming, my formation, my
Mm.
stickiness, my becoming. my evolution began, really, right? It began. And even many decisions that I have made with many other aspects of my life has just been by virtue of that connection to DDK and to the community, the connecting lines, the connecting dots, and by virtue of being planted within a community of like-minded, covenant sisters, covenant relationships. And that has sort of impacted, my Jesus encounter. Now, let's now niche it down a bit, right? I believe one of the remarkable Jesus encounters on this mountain will be really my transition from the insurance and financial sector into the development sector, really, right? I really experienced, Jesus within that influence. And how did I experience? I experienced him through the kingdom principle of service. The kingdom principle of service. That kingdom principle that speaks to whatever you find in your hands, right? Well, do it diligently, pour your all into it. And that's what I did. And that's what I continue to do. Whatever I find myself doing. And I would always create that pathway for both, there is that, okay, job you're doing that you're being paid for, but there's also that pathway of voluntary service where I'm not paid for my time monetarily, right? I am, layering that opportunity to pour myself to a cause, pour myself to being a champion of change and to see real time, impactful, and scalable solutions come alive. I've also seen how, even in our work and in my work as a change maker, as a catalyst for change, how we have had to make some transformational next level decisions. And it's just been around God leading me through a nudge, through relationship, through, connections, causing me to be able to leverage the currency of relationship, right? The currency of relationship, the currency of stewardship, the currency of service to along the next, basically. So that if I can, I can go on and on, but I'm just trying to, encapsulate it nicely into all this that I've shared.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. It just shows, Jesus in every step of the way. Jesus in every step of the way. And that experience of really losing someone that is literally a part of you, because obviously you said you were identical. So that must have been one egg splitting into two, but basic biology. So that is, that is in essence a piece of you that you could no longer see, in the physical. But I'm sure that every day we feel as strongly with you because our spirit is alive forever. You understand? And and just being able to, even after experiencing all of that, to be able to be the change agent that you are today. Because when somebody sees you, that what's driving her? Why is she so happy? Why is she so clinical? They won't know, because like you were saying at some point, that what is that pain that you have experienced?
Yes.
What is that thing that that is fueling your passion? What is that thing? It is not a waste. It is God didn't let it happen to you for just because He just wanted it to happen. It's because there is a purpose for it, and we are so thankful to God and grateful to God for your life, that you were able to find pain, you were able to find purpose even from that pain.
Yeah.
And like one of our guests on this podcast once said that our own mountain is a mountain of finding purpose in pain, because she also had gone through so much, but she was able to draw so much strength from that and now become a voice for other people that are going through the exact same thing that she's going through. Because if and it's just so encouraging that if she is standing, they can also stand. And because you are standing as a general in God's kingdom,
Yeah.
others too can stand. And that is just so beautiful and profound on many levels. Wow. Amazing, amazing. This is a kingdom minded conversation whereby we're trying to bring the marketplace with the kingdom. How do we dominate? How do we bring thy kingdom come, thy will be done to bear, on our mountains of influence? You get funding from various places. I don't think it's every funding that you'll be able to take. I don't think it's every money that will be, a kingdom minded money that that will be able to serve Abba's business. So, can you just take us, unpack that for us, and how do you draw the line, when it comes to holding kingdom values and then doing the kind of work that you do, being able to do it to the best of your ability to glorify God?
Thank you, Lady Abimbola. Lovely question. So,
Okay.
of course, just you rightly put it, we don't take on every type of funding. We have had situations where there were certain kinds of funding that we have the opportunities, funding opportunities we could leverage, but by the time we investigated and discovered the source, or those powering the funding opportunity
Agenda.
definitely, exactly, we have to definitely just say no. We can This is not us. This is not representative of our values, the values, kingdom values that we uphold and hold dear. And we knew that, okay, no, we can't take on this opportunity. And this is what has also sort of defined the revenue models, the scalable business models that we are deployed even within the organization. And knowing that we very much understand that as an organization, we have the capacity to generate our revenue, and there is that longing and desire for members of our ecosystem to pay it forward, to access, these learnings, these resources. And the moment the Lord showed us that model, we leveraged it. And the moment we leveraged it, we saw, that the resource window open up, within that model to us in dimensions we could ever imagine. People were ready,
Wow.
and even what we're offering was very highly discounted, but yet at the same time, we're able to boldly say, hey, there is a reason to be able to charge, right? Understanding that there is a need for this. So back to the question around, making certain critical decisions. We always ensure that there must be a value and a values alignment when engaging with prospective partners, funders, donors. So when I mean value and values alignment, I'm saying value alignment in terms of what is the mutual value exchange for us. That is one. And secondly, that mutual value exchange, does it align with who we are, with our mission and our vision? They will then dig further to say the values they uphold. Do we see that alignment, that connect with own values? The moment there is that discrepancy, there is that dichotomy, we don't follow it. So there must be that resonance, there must be that alignment in value and in values that we hold as an organization, and not just as an organization, but as individuals, because an organization's vision and mission is upheld by the culture within that organization. And it is individuals that power the culture within an organization. So if we say this is who we are, it must be evident in the culture that we institutionalize. So I'm very well ensuring that alignment with our culture, with our values, with our vision, and with our missions.
Wow. Amazing, amazing. So on this mountain, on the mountain of change making, what does the future hold? And how will the king? How can Because I'm sure that there is so much more room, you know, for change, especially Africa. Let's even focus on Africa. Ideation of Africa. There's a reason why it is ideation. There's a reason why it's a hub, and there's a reason why it's Africa. What does the future hold, for this mountain of influence, and how can kingdom-minded people that now have been awakened to the DNA of a change maker, that we have now, because this has been a journey, changing the mindset of an average person that is probably in a 9 to 5 that is repressed, that is now thinking of, okay, I want to step out, what is the gap? What questions are burning on this mountain that these people can begin to build affinity for, and position themselves to answer that question or solve that problem, to take this particular mountain of change making, this change agents movement to the next level.
So, of course, we have come to understand that every change agent is the blueprint for Africa's development and evolution.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that Africa is rising, and she can only rise as our people rise. And that's why we exist. And Africa can only rise when we begin to catalyze our systems, catalyze social transformation, and democratize social innovation across its communities. Every individual not just perceive yourself as a social innovator, but begin to see the correlative between what God has called you to do and its sustainable impact on the world. So when we begin to tie that measure, right, that connecting dot between, oh, God has called me to get into the world of fashion designing. But then you understand that as you're aspiring to become a fashion designer, you can also empower young girls and emerging leaders for marginalized communities who also desire to be fashion designers, right? To really not just dream, but attain to that dream. And while you're aspiring, you can begin to crowdfund a resource bank that provides an opportunity for these young women and emerging leaders to be trained for free or at literally a minimal cost, where your friends, family crowdfund that initiative, or you get funding to fund that initiative within underserved communities. You go to rural areas rural areas where you find not very educated young women, emerging leaders based in these areas, and you begin to what? Empower them vocationally in the heart and the skill of fashion designing. That's you drawing a correlative between your vision of becoming a designer, fashion designer, and your driving and birthing transformational change in the world around you. That is what we want to see. Democratizing social innovation, democratizing the art of policy making. And that's what we're doing at Ideation of Africa, where people come to understand that the art of policy making is not just a fluff, an eye sounding scientific construct reserved for professors and PhD holders, but actually understanding that the art of policy making involves you and I. If any person passionate about seeing sustainable change birthed around them, that policy making simply speaks to lending your voice to pressing issues around you. And as you lend your voice, you're creating platforms for discourse, creating platforms for documentation, creating platforms for implementation. So it starts with you and I, democratizing social innovation and policy making within Africa. That is the future.
Wow. Amazing. And by the way, I look forward to seeing you on CNN.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. That was just the energy that you're just, giving me right now.
Thank you.
So I'm waiting for that day when you said this.
Yeah.
This is the link that happened. And it will happen very, very soon. Wow. That was just so profound.
Thank you.
And this ties back to where we started from when I asked you what does influence mean to you.
Yes.
Because this just mirrors the fact that you walk the talk, you talk the walk. Because you define influence as being able to bring out the best out of other people. And when you were talking, what I was hearing was replicate yourself in other people.
Yes.
Create in other people a version of yourself. Replenish the earth, have dominion. There are prototypes, but then you can help people to become the best version of themselves by pouring into them. This still goes back to where we started this conversation. It's so good.
Yes.
It still goes back to where we started the conversation from.
Yes.
Pouring yourself into others. If you're able to now pour yourself into other people and create, the kind of drive that you have, and they're able to plug into that vision, into that purpose. Along the line, you are also able to infuse kingdom values and kingdom principles. And that way you are actually bringing the gospel to the marketplace.
Yes.
To
that, sis, I've also come to understand that there is no distinction of the marketplace from our lifestyles. And what do I mean by that? That is my work. The work that I wake up to do every day is a tool of service and worship unto God. So I'm able to draw that connecting line that as I show up to my work, as I'm birthing those innovative solutions, I am bringing glory to God. I am reflecting God's glory to the world. And I am making my Father proud because I am shining my light so bright that men come to see the glory of God upon me and glorify my Father in heaven. I've come to understand that the marketplace is also a mission field. A mission field to step into the transaction of souls for God. People encounter me, whether in the boardroom, in a meeting, at a conference, a speaking engagement, they are encountering the God in me.
The world we live in is never going to be in a state of balance. It's going to continuously be chaotic, volatile, ambiguous, and destructive. What do you and I do about it? Well, I found the solution in my book called Finding the Equilibrium. Everywhere you look, systems are breaking. Education, politics, even families are breaking apart. People are exhausted, stuck in roles that shrink them, living far beneath their original design. Deep down, you and I know we are created for more. We are yearning for more. But the system keeps telling you and I what to do and how far we can go. And they're even telling us what to become. That in itself is a big problem. We are letting man-made systems define God-given destinies. And where does that leave us? A world full of hidden potential who will never pick up their talents. No wonder Miles Monroe said the richest person in the world is the graveyard because that unfulfilled potential. Well, that's why my book was written. It doesn't just inspire, it activates. Finding the equilibrium shows you how to identify your hidden talents, break free from broken systems, and step into your original design so that you do not fit into Babylon, but you will reform Babylon so that you can get your way back to Eden and build it. This is not just a book, it's a mirror, it's a map, and it is a manifesto. So, my friend, if you've ever felt like a misfit, like you are misplaced or misunderstood, this is the book that changes it all for you. This is the book you have been waiting for. I've been Oluwatoyin Banjo, author of Finding the Equilibrium. Go grab your copy now.
Hallelujah.
Some days,
So good.
I think 2 days ago, I still received that heartwarming message from a young lady who just said, DTB, I have come to share a praise report with you. And she wrote extensively saying, thank you, DTB, that I am that young lady you gave audience to I think it was at Visionary Leadership Conference of last year. And that I came to you, approached you, told you that I wanted to launch out on a particular vision. I was too afraid to launch out on that vision. But you spoke to me wholeheartedly. And then you even went on to give me access to one of your courses on volunteer management for free. I took on that course. And even though I was still very much afraid, I stepped into answers. And here is the praise report. She sent me pictures, right, of the vision she executed, the lives impacted, and was saying, thank you. Thank you for being that catalyst and just for being that listening ear and providing that clarity, when I had no answers. That's kingdom. That is
amazing.
Kingdom.
And that is how you create a domino effect.
Yes.
That is how you create a ripple effect.
Yes.
If each one could reach one, each one would reach one.
Yes.
And that is how, it just keeps spreading.
Yes.
And, let me also buttress everything that you just said, because it's one thing to talk about theory, it's another thing to walk the walk.
Yes.
I have a fashion company where I make Afrocentric bomber jackets. Wow. Funny enough, this is the first episode where I am wearing one of my jackets.
Wow.
How profound. And the beauty of it is that the sole purpose of the jacket is to change the primitive narrative of Africa all over the world. Wow. Anywhere you see the jacket, it's supposed to be a conversation starter. Because you can't see the jacket and not ask, oh, I like your jacket, where did you get it? I got it from Nigeria. Wow. Something the simplicity but the beauty out of Africa. But now that's not even the end of the story. I engage high school dropouts that have fashion skills to actually make this jacket. And in turn, when they earn, they're able to go back to school or start their own business.
So good.
So that way, fulfilling the SDG 4, which is education, SDG 8, which is empowerment and work and all of that.
Wow.
So this is just bringing it home. They say, like, see, this jacket I am wearing, was made by a high school dropout who was able to earn an income and was able to go back to school. And this jacket is also sold all over the world to be able to tell the African story that, look, creative things come out of Africa, and Africans are greatly creative, and they make world-class product, So, that's just to, marry everything that you just said, that, look, it's not just an ideation of Africa, it's also an African bomber jacket thing.
Yes.
Just that simplicity, exporting Africa to the world, exporting our creativity, and being able, anywhere that you see this jacket, it's the kingdom of God, because it's something that is supposed to preach a good gospel, the good thing about what Africa has got to offer. Africans don't live on trees.
Yes.
They don't live in mud houses. They don't live with monkeys.
They're not
You understand? We have skyscrapers in Africa. We have engineers. We have well. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You also just that changing that primitive narrative and at the same time sending people back to school. And of course, the materials are sourced from local women that make actual. This is made from actual.
Wow.
So also giving back to the community in such a way that women are also empowered. You can see how the channel is able to bring everything together, and then these women, of course, that money that they earn from my organization, they're also able to use it to feed their family. And because, like they say, empower a woman, you empower an entire nation.
Yes.
So this is the ripple effect we are talking about. This is the domino effect that we are talking about. From one single jacket.
Yes. The value chain of sustainable impact. That's it.
That is it.
Yes. So thank you for sharing.
That's just to give you a full picture of. So this single jacket, to you it was just a jacket, but now you know the story behind this jacket that I am wearing and who it's empowering, the change that it is creating in communities, the change that it is creating, the fusion of fashion with education, with community, with impact, with sustainability.
Yes.
Everything. This jacket tells the whole of that story. This jacket represents everything DTB has been saying about change making from the beginning of this conversation. So profound.
Thank you.
So profound. Wow. So, as we wrap up, what is your legacy and what's your final piece of advice for marketplace apostles? Because yes, we know that we are in the end times. We are living in very critical times. A lot of earthquakes everywhere. Different things are going on. What is your legacy and what is your final advice for fellow apostles in the marketplace?
My advice will be undergird your kingship with priesthood. Undergird your kingship with priesthood. You have to marry the two. You can't step into public purpose without spiritual alignment, without undergirding your priesthood in God. So this is a clarion call to not just go about, going out there I want to make the impact. I want to thrive on that mountain. I want to take over that sphere of influence. Yeah. While that is noble, while that is great, it is also important that you retrace your step back to your first love. Return to your first love and begin to cultivate that intimate work with Him. And to work side by side with Him. Don't be one of those people who start out strong in God, and that because of the hustle and the bustle of, working and building within the marketplace, you then forget your first love. Don't be one of those people.
So good.
Don't be one of those people.
So good. So good. I just remember that when I was asking you about the market, and you said the marketplace is every day of our lives.
Yes.
And it reminded me of the song of Lara George. It's the Aye Loja.
Yeah.
Aye Loja. And that word just hits me like a thunderbolt. That's so true. The world itself is a marketplace.
It's a marketplace.
And the ROI and everything that GTB was saying about what God has invested in you as purpose, as vision, is an investment.
Yes.
And the ROI of that investment is what? Souls. Marabosaka.
Souls.
The ROI of the investment of that vision, of that dream, of that purpose, of that yearning, of that desire that you carry is the human beings whose lives are tied to it. It's the lives of those that would never find meaning if you do not step into that which God has called you to.
Yes.
Those are the souls. That's the return on investment.
Yeah.
That is the return on investment, and that is just so profound. Wow, wow. So please step into the answers that God has already made provision for.
Yes.
Step into the answers. Step into the provision.
Yes.
Just step in.
Yes.
At least DTB, is the classic example of you just need to step in. Just need to step in. Because if the children of Israel did not go to the Red Sea and the rod was stretched to the sea, it would not have parted.
Yes.
So you need to make that move.
Yes.
Make that move. Wow, DTB. This has been so glorious.
Thank you, Lord.
This has been so amazing.
Yes.
Where can we find you online? Because I know somebody is saying that, that's my new mentor. I want that to mentor me. I want to know how more. Where can they find you online? Because I know, a lot of people are falling in love with you, via this conversation. So please tell them where they can find you before they start bombarding my email.
Thank you so much, Lady Abimbola. I've had such a phenomenal time. And
Wow.
of course, if you love to connect with me, you can connect with me on Instagram by phenomenal_Toyin. And if you love to connect with me, I think Facebook, it's my full names, Oluwatoyin Banjo. Then LinkedIn, it's Oluwatoyin Banjo. You'll see my I think academic qualifications, MSc, PhD.
PhD, you, stuff like that.
All of that. Yeah, so just search me out.
Wow.
That's me, Oluwatoyin Banjo. So I think I put my Taiwo in as a middle name, but I don't know if it reflects on LinkedIn. Got my full names. You see, where you see MSc, PhD in view, that is me.
That is she.
Knocking down the P.
And of course, the face is there. Wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the Mountains of Influence podcast. You've been an amazing, phenomenal guest. That is the end of this awesome video. I'm sure it was value packed for you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below. Let us know what you are taking away from this particular episode, what resonated with you, what was the aha moment for you, what questions do you have for the guests. Don't forget that we have more that we have cooked for you. So share this video with your friends, with your family, with your neighbors, with everyone that you know, and let them know the Mountains of Influence podcast is changing lives, is transforming paradigms, and it is here to equip you for the work of the kingdom in the marketplace. Don't forget, Mountains of Influence podcast is for apostles in the marketplace. Stay tuned and God bless. I am Abimbola Olumide.